Good evening there from East Midlands Airport. Bit of a different view this evening. So I've made myself a little bit sheltered this evening. We're in the old control tower at the aeropark. Not sure how long we'll last this evening. It's a bit of a trial and apron in front of us. Bit of a restricted view of that DHL ramp this evening. Although we'll try and turn the camera around as much as we can. But maybe a bit of a static stream this evening. We've got well under shelter. A lot of that rain is making its way towards us now from the west. Quite a deluge a little earlier on. For a change, not on my feet. So hopefully take a bit of the strain out of streaming this evening. But thank you very much for being with us. Different bits of software. So it well and truly is a bit of a trial evening. But you see that wind is picking up. About 13 knots at the minute. Those trees blowing quite some in that wind outside. Give you a view of that weather as well, making its way towards us. Quite dark clouds out there this evening. But that's our view, all combined into one. A view of the main apron over there, the aeropark in front of us, and that sky as well. Maintaining a view of the runway heading as those aircraft depart out, but looking very dark indeed out there. But thank you very much for joining us this evening. So it may very well be trial and error. It's only the second time we've ever done this. But good to see everybody in the chat. Tracy and TJ, thank you very much for joining us. Emma as well. Fly for that off to Palmer this evening. Just making its way on in. Echo India Foxtrot Charlie, the registration on 737-800 departing from East Midlands. That one operating on behalf of TUI. 12 years of age on airframe. February 2013, that one first entered into service. There it is, departing away. Those lines you can see there are the control lines for the Nimrod right in front of us. Hopefully once that weather does hit, we can stream for a little bit longer rather than having to cut the stream short. But there it is, departing away, passing through an altitude of 3,200 feet. Gives a real test on the equipment anyway this evening. The Jet 2 on stand in front of us, then pushing back now. That one off to Mahon this evening. We also have a Jet 2 A321 with us. Golf Sierra Uniform November Uniform, the registration on that aircraft. July 2025 this one was delivered into Jet 2, arriving in a little earlier. That one is just parked a little further across the apron, sort of about where the end 737 is in the Jet 2 livery there. The aircraft off to Mahon, pushing back. That one facing towards the east this evening. That'll start up and make its way down to runway 27. The Blue Islands ATR on stand with us as well. Not very often we get to see that ATR. And the one is 747 in from Almaty. That one is passing, still maintaining actually 34,000 feet, making its way over towards Southend-on-Sea, not quite starting its initial descent in towards us, but that one is at about 428 knots, Golf Oscar November Echo Foxtrot. The registration on the arriving 747. That one with a flight time of about 8 hours and 15 minutes by the time it reaches us this evening. There we go, that bad weather almost upon us. Quite some rain we had earlier at East Midlands, a few thunderstorms as well. But we'll see how we go on. So it's only the second time we've set up in the tower, and as the evening starts to get a little bit darker and colder as well, making most of the facilities available to us. That's a view right down to the south. So that weather isn't looking too bad down there. Over to the east, it's a very different picture. Just behind the tree line there, and over to the west, a lot of the weather closing in on us now as well. There we go, it's a bit of a different view for us this evening, a bit warmer than up on the mound, but should be hopefully a good view of that 747 as it lands in this evening. Not too long ago we saw all three 747s last weekend making their way in and out of East Midlands. So if you did miss that stream, have a look back at last week. The Ryanair in from Vraslav at 38,000 feet, arriving just after the 747. That one is about 35 minutes out. And the Jetsu A321 making its way back up to Manchester this evening. That one pushing off standard, making its way down towards the start of runway 27. So just a few minutes time, hopefully we'll catch that one as it leaves East Midlands. More likely as it just after it rotates and continues its departure. So overhead view is a little obstructed this evening, but still a good view of the main apron there in front of us. The Chewy pushing off stand as well, and nothing pinging up for that one just yet. Kenneth, not too many A321s from Jetsu in at East Midlands. We have had one before at the very start of the year. I think that one was on training flights down from Newcastle. But no, not a very regular visitor here at East Midlands. Looks like that one is actually a diversion into East Midlands from Malaga. So I think a little bit of weather up in Manchester. I'll try our very best to catch it anyway. Should hopefully get it on one of the cameras that are with us this evening. Not too sure if those passengers have been bussed off and making their way up to Manchester, or if they're still on board. Hopefully still on board. It's been quite a lengthy journey from East Midlands this evening, but the weather looks like it is closing in up towards the north. It's going to be a very wet evening up there. Definitely a little bit quieter in here, and a fair bit warmer as well than what we used to up on the mound. Thank you very much for being with us. The A321 lining up on the centre line of runway 27 and making its way down towards us. So not too sure how quickly this one will rotate. The second Jet 2 aircraft making its way down towards runway 27. There you go, lifting off quite early there. Right into the sun as well. There we go, continuing its climb out there. Safely departing out back up to Manchester this evening. So look then over on the main apron, that second aircraft, Jet 2 737-800 series, Golf Golf Delta Foxtrot Sierra, the registration on that 737-800 off to Mahon this evening. 24 years of age, May 2001. This first entered into operation, very gradually making its way down to the start of runway 27. The Lauda A320 in with us as well this evening, and the ATR still on stand there in front. Doesn't look like a lot of movement around that aircraft, so it may well be with us for the majority of this evening. The Chewy in the distance, that one on stand, hopefully going out a little bit later on, and the Jet 2 in the distance as well. Making a bit of a sharp exit from the maintenance area, Beechcraft Premier, Lima Zulu Papa Delta Mike, the registration on that aircraft, should be with us just a couple of minutes time. It is making its way from the maintenance area. And that rain starting to hit us now, so very much a good job that we took shelter in the traffic control tower this evening. We'll leave you on that view there. You can see the rain already making its way down overhead of us. Right, do a couple of bits out of the way. Close that main door to the control tower. There you go. Decent decision to stick in here this evening. That Jet 2 on runway 27 then. Climbing out. There it is. Feet as it continues to climb away there. Let's try and get a little bit more focused if we can. There we go. Doesn't look like it's going to play with us this evening. I'm sure that will draw off anytime soon. Back onto the main apron then this evening at Beechcraft Premier, taxiing down to the start of runway 27. Just as the Jet 2 was making its way out. That second Jet 2 aircraft just at the very left of the apron. Looks like it's starting to push back this evening. Golf Delta Romeo Type Manga Golf Delta Romeo Tango Mike, the registration on that aircraft. A few too many letters there. That one is a 737-800, 18 years of age, May 2007. That one first entered into operation. Making its way out to Izmir this evening. And a Chewy off to Larnaca as well, just making its way down to the start of runway 27. We'll try best with the focus on that second camera. Those raindrops may be affecting it just ever so slightly this evening. And away it goes, departing out of East Midlands. Raindrops aren't really giving us a chance this evening, but there it is, safely departing out. Try and give that window a little wipe in a minute. There we go, bit of trial and error this evening. So it's only the second time that we've managed to conduct a stream from inside of the control tower. Really testing its durability out to see how well it stands up to the world of streaming. A lot of birds out there as well this evening. The bird scarer out on the airfield. So the Beechcraft operated by Paradox Jets lining up on runway 27. Making its way out to Bologna this evening. And the rider in from Rome, not too far away at all now. The Chewy off to Manchester, looks like it's making its way back down towards us, probably in a holding pattern for the time being, but about 8,000 feet is the current altitude of the A321. It's closer to East Midlands than it is in Manchester at the minute. Yeah, there's another Ryanair in the holding pattern up there, in from Corfu. I think just about to be joined by the Lufthansa A319 as well, in from Munich. So a bit of weather up at Manchester. It's going to be a very wet evening indeed up there. I think a lot of aircraft waiting to make their way out. There it is. Very tiny jet making its way from East Midlands, the Beechcraft Premier. Coming away very steeply there. Try and fix the focus on that camera then in just a short while. But that next aircraft, the Jet 2 off to Izmir, currently starting up on stand. That one should be making its way down to the start of runway 27 in the next few minutes. And the Ryanair in from Rome is about 9 minutes out. Echo India Juliet Kilo, the registration on the arriving 737 max. Flight time of about 2 hours and 24 minutes in from Rome. January 2024, this aircraft first entered into operation with Ryanair. It is Irish registered. A lot of aircraft into East Midlands. Maltese registration of late. But this one definitely Irish registered. And that 747 isn't too far away from us now, about 20 minutes out. Golf Oscar, November Echo Foxtrot, the registration of that 747. Flight time of around 8 hours and 25 minutes. Right, focus hopefully sorted on the camera. Let's have a look at the weather then, where we are this evening. To the south, not looking too bad at all, but a lot of that weather making its way in from the west. Just that big band of rain there to the south. Either side of it, not looking too bad at all. Quite some weather heading over towards the east this evening. So Tuesday evening, when the bit of rain landed on us here at East Midlands, making our way up the motorway, it was quite a different story. Very wet indeed. The A321 out to Manchester, then looks like it's leaving its holding pattern now, making its way down. So it did almost return all the way to East Midlands. But looks like it is well on its way up to Manchester now. That one has been in the air for about 13 minutes now. Less than 10 minutes until that one is on the ground. The Ryanair in from Rome then, just about to turn on to final approach for runway 27. That one passing down through 4,800 feet. And the Jet 2 making its way towards the end of runway 27 now. Ready to make its way on off to Izmir this evening. Golf Delta Romeo Tango Mike, the registration on that 737-800EN. And the Lauda shining very brightly over there on stand. So we'll look, see what time that one is due to depart. Any minute now, about 5:30 is the estimated departure time of the A320 and Hotel Lima Oscar Romeo, the registration of that aircraft, A320-200 series. Now that one is 18 years of age. Cessna citation off to Luton as well, just before 6 PM. And the Ryanair to Berlin is departing out at about 6 PM as well. Second A320 out to Larnaca this evening. Estimated departure time 6:10. And the Chewy off to Heraklion on its usual slots of 20 to 7. The 777 off to Leipzig just before 7 PM. And then two 747s estimated to depart this evening at about 7:10 and 8:10. So if they do indeed make their way from East Midlands, There'll be 3 747s on the ground with us again this evening. The first 747 is less than 10 minutes out now, passing down through 10,000 feet. The Ryanair in from Rome is the next aircraft to arrive with us. And the National Police Service Vulcan Air is making its way back in as well, about 2,000 feet, the current altitude of the Vulcan Air this evening. That one has been on operation for about 2.5 hours. Like it's been over Coventry for the past couple of hours, but making its way back into us now. The Ryanair in from Vraslav as well, about 15 minutes out on that service. Now Hotel Victor India, the registration of the 737 MAX in from Vraslav. Flight time will be around 2 hours this evening by the time the aircraft touches down with us. Now, a lot of weather there passing by, so it was very difficult to judge just how severe that rain was going to be this evening. It was quite treacherous this afternoon and didn't want to be caught out in that. Neither did we want to cancel this evening's stream either because of the weather. And with the tower available to us, we're making the very most of it this evening, keeping warm and dry. So I hope you two, you are too. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So we'll see how long the batteries last this evening. A very good test for the equipment, nevertheless. A lot of that rain making its way in from the east as well. It's like a second band of rain heading over the airfield. Very blustery outside this evening, so very glad of the shelter. The Ryanair in from Rome then on final approach, just overhead Kegworth now. That one passing down through 1,400 feet. Good evening to everybody in the chat as well. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Good to see you all in there, everybody watching as well. So it's not our usual view from East Midlands. Hopefully still quite a decent view of the main apron over there. Once that main passenger traffic does die down, we'll have a look at the cargo a little later on. So there's a couple more windows that we need to open just before we do that. We'll get the cameras moved around, and then once the operations over there on the main apron die down, we'll have a look at all the cargo operations taking place this evening. Aircraft in front of us, 767s, the 757 over there as well, and a couple of 777s. Just on the end stands, it looks like. Just looking past the Nimrod this evening, straight in front of us. So look then at that next aircraft. Just touching down. Not sure how far this one will make its way down this evening. We'll try and pick it up on the camera anyway. Switch back to the main camera then of the apron. Should get a good view of it vacating onto Mike there. Yeah, so that one is slowing down to a very steady speed now. About 8 knots as it makes that turn, hopefully appearing on screen anytime soon. Yeah, there it is indeed. Vacating from runway 27 then, the Ryanair service in from Rome this evening, just catching the last of that sunlight before that next band of rain makes its way down above us. Control tower here in front of us receiving a lot of that light as well this evening. Glowing orange there, it looks like, from our point of view. Next aircraft to depart then, the Jet 2 off to Izmir this evening, making its way down towards us. That 737 MAX safely vacating runway 27 then. Let's have a look at those cameras in front of us. So I think that departure camera there to the right may be taking the brunt of the sun a little too heavily there. Maybe struggling with the focus, but we'll try and persevere with that as much as we can. And there it is then, departing away at the bottom of the screen. Quite some noise as well as that aircraft thunders away from East Midlands, making its way through 1,600 feet then. Let's see if we can indeed catch that on the right hand camera there. There it is, just at the top of the screen. So the sun unfortunately is going to cause a bit of an issue on that departure camera. Well, until that next band of weather arrives with us anyway. But the Jet 2 safely departing from East Midlands then, already at 3,000 feet, 155 knots as that one climbs away. And the next arriving aircraft, the National Police Vulcan Air, just about to touch down, orbiting just southeast of the airfield, giving way to the departing Jet 2. Shade back in front of that camera, see if that helps any more. But the Vulcan Air touching down in the distance. That aircraft should vacate a little further down before making its way back up towards us. And just a short hop for that aircraft back over into the maintenance area this evening. 747 on final approach. This one with a flight time of around 8 hours and 20 minutes by the time it touches down. Golf Oscar November Echo Foxtrot, the registration on the 747 in from Almaty this evening. Slightly delayed by about 17 minutes or so. So nothing too drastic for the 747s this evening. This one is expected to depart out a little later on as well. Looks like it's been on quite a journey for the past few days. Tuesday, Hong Kong to Dubai. Yesterday, Dubai into East Midlands and then back out to Hangzhou in China, and then making its way in from Almaty this evening. We'll see how far this one rolls down in front of us as well. We should get a good initial view on the main camera in front of us there, and then we'll roll on to the second camera as well. Allowed it pushing off of stand. That one off to Palma this evening, 9 Hotel Lima Oscar Romeo. The Vulcan Air there, very quickly making its way on the taxiway down towards its stand for the evening. And in fact, I think going back into its hangar, just tucked away in the maintenance area. There it is, safely back on the ground here at East Midlands. Right, so look at that weather then, right above us. Definitely getting a little bit darker out there. Looking very ominous indeed. And down towards the south as well, looking very grey. A lot of dark cloud out there. 747 touching down on runway 27 then. Hopefully this one rolling all the way past us. There it is, a lot of spray from that 747 there. There it is, safely landing into East Midlands then. I'll catch that one back on the main camera as it vacates a little further up. Around about there, in fact. The speed brakes and flaps still extended then, just about to be retracted. And as this one taxis back down, we should get a nice view as it makes its way back down to the start of runway 27 to find it stand just for a little while. So that aircraft is expected to depart out to Hong Kong this evening. Estimated departure time for that aircraft is about 8:10. Now whether that will stick to schedule or not is yet to be seen. 747s the past couple of weeks from East Midlands have experienced a little bit of a delay on outbound services. So we'll see if that one does indeed depart. The 747 just before that. Golf Oscar November Echo off to Hangzhou this evening. Estimated departure time for that one is about 7:10, with a delay on the inbound 747 though. May have a slight knock-on effect for the return to Hong Kong this evening. But there we go, it is making its way down towards us now. So hopefully coming into view on that main camera anytime soon. I'm going to switch to that one now. So a lot of spray from that 747. They're helping to dry the runway here at East Midlands. But safely making its way down past the main apron then. Heading off towards its stand. Golf Oscar November Echo Foxtrot, the registration. On the 747 there. Ops team on the runway. Bit of visual check just after the 747 lands in. Oh my god, that second band of rain heading over the top of us now, and it looks like a little bit more weather as well from the west making its way towards us, so it's looking very grey out there this evening. But thank you very much for joining us. A little bit of a different view than our usual streams, but hopefully something a little bit different. So we're taking shelter in the all control tower here at the aeropark this evening, making use of the warm space available to us. It is very windy out there and that temperature is dropping away as well. So for the time being, set up in here for the next short while. That gives us a good chance to test out all the equipment as well. So it's only the second time that we managed to conduct a stream from here in the control tower. The summer months it's not too pleasant. It gets quite warm in here. And the equipment struggles as well to keep up. As we get into the winter months, that weather starts to draw in and those nights start to draw in as well. It's going to become quite an invaluable piece of equipment, I think. Call it equipment. A very invaluable shelter. switch that camera around just a little bit then. DHL 777 there in the distance. Now the quality, some of the cameras may not be the greatest this evening. Everything's still in the stages of being optimised, so you'll have to bear with us. Still get a quite decent view of the 777 there in front of us, albeit not the most sharpest of image. But still, we're pushing the limits of what we can expect from the equipment. There you go then, all three views of the airfield in front of us. The main view, wide view of the runway in front of us, some of the aeropark as well, and of the Nimrod wing there. To the right. And then view of the main apron as well. Wind even having a bit of effect on the control tower this evening. Very bumpy indeed out there. So look though at the next arrival. It is a bit bumpy. The next departure then, and arrival. Ryanair arriving in from Wrocław this evening. That one just about a minute out now, passing overhead Kegworth. Down through 1,200 feet, 138 knots, the current speed of that aircraft. And the Lauda A320 off to Palma. That one is just about to reach the end of runway 27. Right, we shall see if I've got any ties. Just all that door closed a little bit cold, even in here this evening. We'll leave you on the view of the 777 now in front of us. Right, that should do. Close that door a little further, and apologies for the moving around. It's a little bit bouncy in here sometimes. Microphone back outside though, should hopefully pick up some of the sound outside, some of the ambient sound anyway. Right now then, here in front of us, landing into East Midlands this evening. And that Lauda A320 shouldn't be too far away from departing out. It is indeed lining up. 7. Making its way down towards us. Jet 2 then, 737, making its way into East Midlands from Manchester this evening. So the A321 departing out from Manchester and receiving a Delta Charlie registration of the arriving 737. There it is. And the DHL 777 in from Cincinnati. That one is overhead Manchester now. the earlier arriving and departing A321 landing back in Manchester, making its way onto its stand. So that one is safely back on the ground up there. The next couple of in with us then, the 737-800 making its way in from Manchester this evening, and the 777 in from Cincinnati. You should get quite a good view of the 777 as it rolls past. So nothing else has reached this end of the runway for a short while, not after the 747 arrived in anyway, so hopefully quite a good amount of spray kicked up by those engines this evening. But this is just the Chewy and the Ryanair left over there in the distance. So look at the 777 in front of us. A little bit further to go on loading that aircraft this evening. But in terms of departures from East Midlands, so look where we are. The Ryanair off to Venice. That one looks like it's delayed this evening. The Cessna Citation making its way down to Luton. Estimated to depart in the next 5 minutes or so. See if that one does materialise. Slightly delayed, 25-minute delay or so on the service there. Ryanair off to Berlin at 6 p.m. and the A320, it's allowed at A320, the second A320, estimated to depart at about 6:10. Nothing on the Silkway 747. That is a fictitious loading on all the radars. But the next aircraft to depart after that will be the Chewy off to Heraklion. Followed by the 777 making its way out to Leipzig. The 777 estimated to depart in the next hour. And then hopefully the 747 making its way out to Hangzhou this evening. That one expected to depart about 7:10. So look at those arrivals. Once we load up. There we go then. 767 in from JFK. That one is delayed this evening, but arriving in the next 30 minutes or so. That 747 of course arriving in with us just a little later than scheduled, and the Ryanair in from Rome on the ground over there in the distance. 777 from Cincinnati will be arriving with us just after 6 p.m, about 6:05. So in the next 10 or 15 minutes that one should be safely on the ground, and then the next 777 to arrive after that will be at about 7:15 this evening. That one arriving in from Leipzig. The RBL in from the Isle of Man just after 7 p.m, and the Maersk in from Cologne at about 7:20. The EPS 767 from Philadelphia, that one expected to arrive with us ahead of schedule, about 30 minutes ahead of schedule, just after 7:30 this evening. And then we'll see whereabouts we are in terms of arriving and departing aircraft, and the weather as well. The Cessna Citation passing at the bottom of the screen there, operated by Pro Air Aviation. Delta India Kilo Bravo Oscar, the registration of that Cessna Citation, 18 years of age, 2007 first entered into operation. I think that next bout of rain just about to hit us as well. That wind has definitely picked up. The trees are taking the brunt of that wind behind us. Jet 2 in from Manchester then, passing down through 6,200 feet. Looks like this one is fitted, or retrofitted, with the newer version of the winglets. 12 years of age, June 2013. This one first entered into operation with Jet 2 Golf Juliet Zulu Delta Charlie, the registration on the 737-800, making its way in towards us, closely followed by that 777 in from Cincinnati, about 10 minutes out on the 777 Air, passing down through 10,000 feet. Yeah, definitely a bit of rain making its way past the 777 there, although looking very bright in the distance. It is unfortunately hitting right on us now. Let's briefly bring that microphone back in some relative warmth. Rabbits there passing by us as well. So you get a good view of quite a lot of different things here on the stream. There you go, that rain making its way over the main apron now. Very wet indeed out there, and a lot more weather I think heading our way, but we shall remain in here dry and safe, so thank you very much for being with us. I'll be dry, warm and safe wherever you are this evening. A slightly a different view to what we're usually used to here at East Midlands. But I think given the weather conditions outside and just how much we're moving around at the minute, safely tucked away inside. So thank you very much for joining us. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Only the second time we've made it inside of the control tower here at the airpark. Outside, like a bit of a rainbow forming in the distance as well. But yeah, very nasty indeed outside this evening, so good job indeed that we're sheltered away for the time being. So look at the next arrivals then. Oops. There you go, just departing the bottom of the screen there. That citation making its way down to Luton this evening. And the Jet 2 737 in from Manchester isn't too far out, about 4 minutes out, making its final turn onto final approach, passing down through 3,200 feet. Right, let's get a bit more power into these systems then. Managing to sit down for a change. Probably the first stream I've ever done sitting down. So all the camera's pretty much static as well. A bit more room to move around. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to join the channel this evening, hope you're enjoying it. Probably the best view we're going to get given the weather outside. But if you have joined us in the past few weeks, thank you very much for doing so. And if you're not subscribed yet, do consider subscribing. We're out here on Sunday. If you want any details on how to find the airpark, their opening times, prices, and the aircraft on static display, have a look in the stream description below. So we are streaming live from the whole control tower here at the airpark this evening. So if you're familiar with the airpark, you'll know right about where we are. just tucked away behind the Nimrod. As that traffic dies down a little later on the main apron as well, we'll have a look at the cargo traffic in a little more detail. The 777 we just saw on screen there continuing to offload cargo. The next 777 is almost upon us, about 3 minutes out now, passing down through 3,650 feet. Flight time in from Cincinnati 6 hours and 34 minutes by the time it touches down with us. And this one arriving in the One Against Cancer livery from 2023. Golf Delta Hotel Lima Whiskey, the registration of that arriving 777. Jet 2 737 in from Manchester, though, just a couple of minutes from touching down. That one over Kegworth now, so should be in with us in the next couple of minutes. See how strong that wind is in the distance, as well as wind turbines generating some power this evening. Hopefully not too much of a restrictive use, say rather be safe and sheltered away in the warmth than out there battling the conditions this evening. And then given it's only the second time we've done this, we'll try and get those cameras optimised as well for future streaming. The second camera not quite living up to our usual standards. We've still got a very good view of the 777 there in front of us. Soon to be joined by that second 777. There we go, very different picture right above us, looking a little greyer behind the control tower there as a lot of that bad weather passes by. A lot of dense cloud passing its way over towards the east now. That's 737 in with us then. Making that turn onto Mike now. Just as the rain starts to fall behind the airport. 12 years of age on the 737-800 in front of us then, and that 777 is next to arrive in. 767 closely following the 777. Different weather conditions all around the airfield. Bit of a rainbow starting to form right at the opposite end of the airport this evening, and a lot of rain making its way down to the ground in the distance. That 777 battling through the weather then over towards the east. Over Kegworth now at 1,500 feet, 126 knots. Here's the current speed of that aircraft as it continues its descent in towards us. So let us know what you think of the camera angles as well. So very crudely and quickly set up the cameras this evening. Not too sure what sort of images we would be achieving. Hopefully decent enough for a stream anyway. So a little bit restrained from the facilities to the left of us there. View a little obscured. But the mound, if you know the aeropark, the mound just to the left of us, where those trees are there, well, the rainbow is just starting to form, and the lower image on the screen. 777 then arriving in with us. See if we get any spray from those engines. Six hours and 36 minutes, the flight time of the 777 from Cincinnati. There you go, hopefully it's back online. It's like we dropped out ever so slightly there. Yeah, I think the weather having a bit of an effect on us this evening, unfortunately. But that 777 landing in. Well, as is the weather, unfortunately, we are at the mercy of it this evening. But thanks for sticking with us anyway. We shall try our best to persevere with it this evening. 777 arriving in then. That one making its way down towards its stand. So I think with the software taking the brunt of the work this evening, maybe a little bit challenging for it. Hopefully back online. Thank you very much indeed for sticking with us anyway. Right now off to Berlin, starting on the main apron. Just pushing back out of sight there, and that jet 2 in from Manchester. There it is in the distance. So yeah, again, very challenging, at the mercy of the mobile networks this evening. A lot of infrastructure around us as well, in the shape of some ex-military aircraft. I think that signal just having a bit of a difficult time there, making its way to us. But hopefully back online. Beach King arriving in with us there this evening. Now we've got the technology, so why not push it to its limits, see how far we can take it. So we don't usually get to 3 cameras on the stream, so at least we know our technical capabilities anyway. Everything operating as it should though, for the time being. So just those 5G networks can be a bit patchy at times. I've been over the past couple of weeks anyway, streamed for a good few months without any issue on the networks, but I think with a lot of interference, especially right behind the main tower, or cell tower this evening, Maybe a little bit of interference there on the network. A few thunderstorms this afternoon at East Midlands, and it's turning very dark as well in the distance. Why not give it a push? Yeah, some quite dense cloud right behind, so that probably explains dropout on the network. 777 in with us from Cincinnati then, in front. See how stable we remain once that passes by us. But at least we tried. We're out here. Not too nice conditions outside. Still warm and dry for the time being. So we have to pack everything away and make our way out a little later on. Let's see if we're back online then on all those cameras. Yeah, not doing too bad. So I think just over an hour of streaming before that blip. Still maintaining a good upload to YouTube anyway. The weather then, about 15 degrees outside. That wind at about 14 knots. Those gusts a little bit stronger though. And that sun glaring right at us. That microphone pointed back outside till that next band of weather hits us anyway. 767 then, arriving in with us. Catch it on that second camera, there it is. Flight time then on the 767 in from Kennedy. 5 hours and 50 minutes. Registration Golf Delta Hotel Lima Oscar. 767-300 series. And the upper cargo deck of the 777 opening up there. The Ryanair off to Berlin, making its way down to the start of runway 27. I can only apologise about the dropout. I just think with the around today to streaming out at the minute, maybe a little bit too adventurous. Yeah, well, we'll have a look after the stream anyway, see if we can streamline it as such. So you can get that software a little more optimised. .767 is making its way towards its stand, just a little way off the main apron over there. That wind definitely picking up. Right now off to Bill and then down at the start of runway 27. Now let's see if it is indeed this third camera that's causing us a bit of difficulty. It may just be yeah, I think it is. Maybe just a bit of a connection issue with that camera then. Maybe because it's static and not a lot happening, it's not responding very well. But still give you a decent view of that weather in front of us there this evening. Looking a little bit different behind the tower itself. Brightening up ever so slightly, and there is quite a mammoth band of rain heading our way now. See how far that reaches us in the next few minutes. Right, sunglasses off, glasses on. The arriving 767 just tucking its way. And another 767 there. 777. No movement on that one just yet. Maybe getting a little wet anytime soon. Bring that 777 into a bit of a better view then. Next departing aircraft is that Ryanair off to Berlin, lining up on runway 27. Looks like we're getting a constant stream as well now. So hopefully no more dropouts. Seven 747s outbound this evening, off to Hangzhou and Hong Kong. The early arriving 747 on the ground. That one estimated to depart at about 8:10. Look at that third camera. I think it may be a little too hot. See if we can fix it. There you go, that was a problem. It turned itself off, so we switched to a different view. The stream wasn't receiving any image, so dropped out unfortunately. There we go, back online. Simple fix of pressing the on button. I think it must have timed itself out, switched off. There we go, bit of a simple fix. At least we know what that issue was now, nothing too technical. Simple flick of the on and off button again. There we go, 767 and 777. If we just zoom out a little further on that image, give you a bit of a closer look of what we can see right in front of us this evening. Well, a little bit relieved that there's no digging around trying to find out what that issue was. Remember to turn the self-timer off that camera then. Alan, thank you very much for joining us this evening and for that super chat as well. It's great to have you with us. Watching all the way from Newcastle this evening. Hopefully the weather's a bit better up there this evening than it is down at East Midlands. Great to have you with us, and thank you very much again for your support of the channel. There we go, that third camera all back up and working again. 767's right in front of us then. If you look at the end of the wing on the Nimrod there, just a little further up, the first 767 just in view, and that second 767 to the rear as well. That one arriving in from JFK just a short while ago. You can see the reflection of the trees there in the glass from the tower this evening. So just how windy it is behind us. Let's see if we can pan just a little further down then. So we've not got any anything magic in terms of tripods this evening on the second camera. Just something basic, so I have to apologise the shakiness. But that second 777 then, let's have a bit of a zoom in on that one. There we go, continuing to offload cargo from the aircraft this evening. Just say it's very much warmer where we are at the minute. Very cold outside. It's like a bit of a thunderstorm down towards the south of Leicester. Yeah, it definitely looks like some bad weather down towards the south. Right, and there we go then. If we bring that second camera back on board, not on his streams you'll get to see a view of the Nimrod there looking right over the wing and the flight deck of the Nimrod there this evening over towards the DHL apron. 777's there to the right, the 757 in the middle, that's the third aircraft from the right, 777 at the very left of the image, and then the two 767s on screen as well with us this evening. There you go, probably first on any aviation stream you've seen. View from the rear of that trailing edge of the Nimrod. See if we can get a little bit more of that aircraft in the image. There we go. Just as the sun is starting to set as well above. And that rear exit from the Nimrod there. So if you do want to go on board the Nimrod here at the airpark, they are open this weekend. So the airpark is volunteer run, so depending on their availability, it may depend on which aircraft are open. Of course the extremities of the weather as well. If you can get on board the Nimrod, definitely worth a look inside at some of the equipment they have remaining on board of that aircraft from its ex-military days. But the weather towards the north of the airfield there, just above the Nimrod this evening, looking very grey indeed. soon to be right over the airfield, I think. So we're just positioned right at the edge of that weather front. So I think in the next 10 minutes or so we shall find out just how wet the airfield is going to get. Well, thank you very much for being with us this evening. There you go. So the Nimrod there on the left hand of the image, and on the lower of the image there, just the end of the wing, and then the main passenger apron right in front of us there in the distance. So as long as that third camera behaves itself, we shouldn't see any more dropouts this evening. Keeping a keen eye on it anyway. National Police Vulcan Air is starting up, and the 737 in the distance, right at the very bottom of the left hand of the screen there. That Jet2 737 off to Ibiza this evening. That is the 737 making its way in from Manchester. Golf Juliet Zulu Delta Charlie, the registration on that 737. You can see just how windy it is outside as well. Control tower taking the brunt of that wind. Being moved around just a little bit. Trees blocking some of that wind from us, but rolling right over the top of the Nimrod and hitting us this evening. Go very gradually making its way towards us. Quite a weather front there. So the sun just setting behind the rain as it makes its way over towards us. There's next aircraft not too far from departing East Midlands. Looks like the Vulcan Air is just in front of its hangar now. Golf Papa Oscar Lima Whiskey, the registration of the Vulcan Air. And the Jet 2 still over there on stand, not pushing just yet. Those departures seem to be a little bit more sharper this evening. So Tuesday's stream, there were quite a lot of delays to the inbounds and outbounds. The RVL in from the Isle of Man then, making its way towards us now. That one arriving in about 40 minutes time. (3,400 feet is the current altitude of the Cessna Caravan. Quite a big weather front over the Irish Sea as well. The Cessna Caravan there just skirting around the edge of it, making its way down over towards Liverpool and then in towards East Midlands. The 777 in from Leipzig, that one is about 40 minutes out. Triple seven in front of us now then. That one continuing to offload the cargo from its upper cargo deck there. Vulcan Air looks like it is making its way out onto the taxiway, just taxiing up from the maintenance area. So I'll try my very best to stay online this evening. Everything looks positive so far in terms of upload to YouTube. Well, that weather front I think is going to cause a bit of technical issue, shall we call it. Let's have a look out for the Vulcan Air then, and making its way towards us. There it is. We'll see just how affected we get by the light as well. So a lot of reflective surfaces through what we're streaming this evening, so it'll be a good test to see how well we stand up to the lack of light as well. But good to have you with us, and thank you very much indeed for joining us from East Midlands this evening. So some very challenging weather conditions out there this evening. It's like a lot of the heavy weather making its way towards Manchester. That 777 in from Leipzig then, Delta Alpha Lima Quebec. Here's the registration, 777 Freighter. This one is 4 years of age, November 2020. That's very quickly coming up to 5 years of age. And the EPS 767 in from Philadelphia. About an hour left to run for the 767. November 355 Uniform Papa, the registration on that 767-300, 12 years of age. February 2013, about 12 and a half years of age then, of the 767. Very different picture down over towards the southwest at the minute. The west in particular looking very bright over there. A very different image up towards the north. Over towards the east as well. Weather picking up ever so slightly over there. There's a lot of cloud accumulating, looking very dark over to the southeast, just behind the tower. A few glimmers of sunlight there as the cloud breaks. No movement on that Jet 2 just yet then. There you go, the Beach King departing out. And the Vulcan Air lining up on runway 27 as well. Down towards us now. See which direction the Vulcan Air heads off in this evening. See how quickly it rotates as well. There it is. Bit more sound from the Vulcan Air, ever so slightly sheltered from that wind noise this evening, thanks to the Nimrod in front of us. But it's good to have you with us this evening. If it's your first time joining us, thank you very much. Sheltered away here in the air traffic control tower, here at the aeropark. Vulcan Air making its way down towards the south now. Just check where we are in terms of battery levels. Everything looking okay. Hopefully alright for the next short while anyway. 3 cameras on board this evening, all working, fingers crossed, alright for the time being. And the Vulcan may just be able to see on the bottom camera there, just passing by the south of the airfield. It just looks like it's disappeared behind some of the cloud there. But that one off on operation this evening, down towards the south. Yeah, just on the Nimrod here at East Midlands. So this one did indeed land into East Midlands and was, as you quite rightly say now in the chat, I think locked down for some time while a lot of that official equipment was removed from on board that aircraft. I'm not too sure if we can stick you on this main image just for the time being. Let's see if we can pick up the point at which the Nimrod made it in. There we go. So landing into East Midlands and then making its way across the grass verges there, the edge of the runway, and there's 3 posts being taken out, allow that aircraft to be pushed into its, what now is final resting position, I guess, here at the aeropark. It remains on static display. There we go, bad attempt at zooming out there. Registration on this one, if anybody is interested, X-ray whiskey 664. So you can get a little bit closer to some of that detail then on the airframe. There we go, front of the flight deck. Refueling probe at the forward of the flight deck as well there. See if I can loosen some of this slack up there, get a bit of a better view. See just how many panels make up that wing there, and the engines as well, buried away. So emergency exits. Of course, all the communications systems top of the aircraft there. Got some very well used equipment there. I think this one 2011 it was decommissioned. Remaining in service just for a little while longer for various operational reasons. Well, here it remains at the aeropark, so if you're interested, come and have a look at it in person yourself. So it's quite good to go on board that aircraft and have a look at what systems do remain. 777 though, in from Leipzig, very much newer airframe, making its way in towards us now. That one is about 30 minutes out. look a little further down the cargo apron and the 777 there. See which aircraft is outbound to Leipzig this evening. It is indeed the 777 in front of us, Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Whiskey. Now we are getting closer and closer to the departure time of the 747 this evening. Well, the first 747. At 7:10, that one is estimated to depart East Midlands. It's about 25 minutes now. We shall see if that one does indeed remain on schedule. We're very lucky the past couple of weeks with the 747s. So it's been a bit hit and miss with the departures of late. But just a little quiet for the time being. That next arriving aircraft then looks like it's the RVL in from the Isle of Man. Let's have a look at departures from East Midlands. The Jet 2 there in the distance. Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon. That one has disappeared from the radar for the time being. But let's have a look a little further out. Looks like the Lauda after Larnaca delayed until about 8:20 this evening. The Ryanair to Berlin departing a little while ago. That one was too delayed by about 20 minutes. Still the Ryanair off to Venice. Estimated departure time 5:05 this evening. Doesn't look like that one has received a new slot as of yet. Chewy off to Heraklion though. There's a Chewy right in front of us there. Should be pushing any time soon. That one with a departure slot of 6:40. So about 5 minutes behind estimated departure time on that one. There we go, a very strong weather front making its way over the airfield now. A lot of strong weather making its way towards us as well, getting closer and closer. Hopefully gets in pushed a little further north. But that light quickly drawing away now, turning a little bit darker, a little bit colder as well. About 13 degrees is the current temperature here at East Midlands. Between 13 and 14. The wind about 15 knots, gusting quite a bit more. Very strong gusts out there, being moved around quite a bit this evening. Still relatively sheltered in where we are. So thank you very much for joining us. It's good to have you with us. The Ryanair off to Venice then, finally pushing off of its stand. That one is just a little further than the Jet 2. Over there in the distance. Looks like that one is making its way off stand number 1. Just pushing back to the rear of the apron, and that one should be making its way down to the start of runway 27 anytime soon. Bit of a rainbow forming behind the control tower there as well this evening. Just having a quick look, see if we can get any better views of the cargo operations over there. So it's like the 777 receiving the majority of the attention from the Graham crew. So look at that next 777 though in front of us. There it is, sheltering away there on board the 777. This one arriving in a little earlier to East Midlands and continuing to offload the majority of the cargo there this evening. Indeed. Still looking not too bad down towards the south. So up towards the northwest, that weather is looking very much a different picture. There we go, testing all the equipment to its full capabilities this evening. Fortunately, that little bit of a dropout earlier caused by camera turning itself off. A bit of a non-technical issue there, rather operator error, I think. That 777 is making its way towards us now, about 25 minutes out, 26,500 feet, 26,500 feet should I say. It is currently passing through at 394 knots. Flight time in from Leipzig will be just a little over 1 hour and 30 minutes. Fingers crossed this time the camera doesn't cut out on us. The RVL in from the Isle of Man are arriving with us in roughly the same time frame, about 20 minutes out. And that UPS 767 in from Philadelphia, that one is currently at 37,000 feet, making its way over Ireland now. 504 knots is its current speed as it continues its journey towards us. November 355 Uniform Papa, the current the registration of that 767, currently making its way towards us. Turning a little bit darker over there then. I think I turn a little bit darker still. So like that sunlight being blocked out now by the heavy cloud that's forming over the top of us. There you go, that's the very edge of that next weather front, making its way over East Midlands Airport this evening. Block a few of those drafts up. So hopefully you've enjoyed a bit of a different view with us this evening here at East Midlands. So taking shelter from most of that bad weather making its way towards us this evening. I think a very wise decision indeed. A couple of times it's tried to deter us from streaming today. Want some heavy rainfall a little earlier this afternoon. And a couple of showers as we've been streaming this evening. Still very blustery outside, those gusts really picking up now. So nothing on the 747 just yet pinging up. That one just out of view, unfortunately, where we are. So they're just slightly obscured by the facilities there to the left of us. Hopefully departing out at about 7:10 this evening, the first of the two 747s at East Midlands. The right now off to Treviso, continuing to taxi down towards the start of runway 27 and the Jet 2 to Ibiza. The Jet 2 aircraft, very top of the image there. Let's bring that one onto the main screen for you. There we go. Looks like that one is just pushing back now. Off to Ibiza this evening, having made its way down from Manchester. Bit of a swap of aircraft from East Midlands and Manchester. The 321 diverting in, I think due to a bit of bad weather up there. First time that aircraft has been to East Midlands. And I think that one in the jet2.com livery as well. The only other 321 into East Midlands that we've seen so far this year was in the Jet 2 Holidays livery. That was a few months ago, probably March, April time, I think. So not very rare, very often, we get a rare visitor like that here at East Midlands. But still good to see it on the ground for the first time. The right now off to Treviso, then lining up on runway 27. That one very quickly going to start making its way down towards us. 9 Hotel Victor India is the registration of the departing 737 MAX. And that'll be shortly followed by the Jet 2 off to Ibiza. See how early the Ryanair rotates. There we go. Good news is that third camera definitely working again now. The Ryanair safely departing out then from East Midlands this evening, continuing runway heading, passing through 1,900 feet now, 137 knots as it climbs away. A little bit slower there on speed. The very rear of the Jet 2 then off to Ibiza, just visible at the edge of the screen there. Continuing to climb away just to the right hand of the screen there. That Jet 2 aircraft will be the next one to depart from East Midlands, and then not too far away from us now, about 15 minutes or so. The RVL in from the Isle of Man, and the DHL 777 in from Leipzig. That one is about 16 minutes out now. Magpies joining us on the fence there this evening. Had a bit of a rest from the wind. Even the birds struggling this evening around the airfield to take flight. As you can see, a lot of bird activity out there over the runway. Hopefully making a bit of a shift before that 777 makes its way in. So that bad weather right above us, not quite materialising just yet. I think it's a little further north than where we are. So anybody a little further north than East Midlands, fortunately, it's like that bad weather is going to hit you anytime soon. Towards the south as well, looking like some heavy weather forming down there. Jet 2 still at the rear of its stand then, just starting up. Should be making its way down to the start of runway 27 anytime soon. Alan, thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. Good to have you with us again. Hope you've liked the bit of a different view this evening, but thank you for spending some time with us and for the super chat as well this evening. Thank you very much. Ian from Leipzig there, making its way north of Northampton. Nothing picking up for the 747 just yet. That one expected to depart at 10 past 7. Let's have a quick check, see where we are, see if that one is delayed. Nothing picking up as of yet, but some further delays to the Chewy service to Rackley on this evening. That's the aircraft in front of us there, just beneath the control tower. That one estimated to depart at 8 PM now. It's about an hour and 20 minutes delay for that aircraft this evening, presuming that is weather related. But let us know what you think about the streams from here within the control tower from the aeropark. So I think it's going to be quite valuable to have a bit of shelter from the weather and continue streaming. As long as I can remember to turn the cameras on. We should hopefully be able to get a bit of a better view as well. I have a few more areas, tweak the camera setup a little bit. So it was a very impromptu setup this evening with the rain very heavily coming down earlier. The Jet 2 making its way out of the main apron then onto the taxiway. That one will be making its way down to the start of runway 27. And then departing out from East Midlands. We'll try and maintain this view if we can. Try and catch a close-up of the rotation there, a wide-angle shot, and then its departure as well with the top of the Nimrod there just in frame. dovetail in from the Isle of Man. And that one is just skirting south of Derby now, 2,400 feet, the current altitude of that Cessna Caravan. Golf Romeo Victor Lima Yankee, the registration of the inbound aircraft. And that 777 just passing over a bit of weather towards Leicester. That's all the weather down there to the south. Should be with us in the next 8 minutes though. Just southeast of Leicester now, passing down through 8,500 feet. I think you've been very fortunate to dodge a lot of the rain over towards the west, although it does still look like it's making its way towards us. Nothing from the Blue Islands ATR in front of us, and that one remaining on the ground this evening. Not too common for us to see the ATR here at East Midlands, especially when we're streaming at this time anyway, and usually finding a stand elsewhere. Looks like there may be a bit of work going on as well over there. A few trucks making their way down towards us this evening. Even the rabbits are out right in front of us. That rain's starting to come down again now. So once again, I shall move that microphone in temporarily. There we go, the rain starting to drive in. Jet 2 is making its way down runway 27 now though. I have to excuse the obscured view there from the raindrops forming on the window. So one of the downsides of streaming through glass, but there it is. Safely making its way from East Midlands and the Jet 2 off to Ibiza. Right, try and sort that focus out again. Try and get around some of those raindrops forming on the window. But there's current weather. Very gloomy out there. So very glad to be inside this evening. But everything looking stable, so been quite a good test of the equipment. Apart from the earlier little dropout. Well, thank you very much for sticking with us. That next aircraft inbound 777 in from Leipzig, turning on to final approach now. Not too sure where the RVL Caravan is. That one disappearing off radar, as it usually does once it drops below a certain altitude. But hopefully should be on the ground with us anytime soon. Maybe just giving way to the 777, but we'll see it pass by on the main camera there. That's the one upper left hand of the screen. It's really starting to calm down now. It's a very different picture down towards the south. Clouds just catching the last of that sunlight as it starts to set. I think quite a weather front heading in our direction in the next few minutes. That 777 though, making its way over East Leak now, passing down through 2,400 feet at 125 knots. Registration on the arriving 777 Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Quebec. Flight time from Leipzig. About an hour and 27 minutes by the time it touches down. There's the RVL Caravan there in front. Looks like a few operatives around the ATI in front of us as well this evening. So just a couple of minutes then until we see that 777 land in with us. Quite a scenic view down towards the south this evening. So just unfortunate that majority of that bad weather is passing over us at the minute. There we go, that's my current view anyway, over the top of the Nimrod. Daviel just turning off of the taxiway, making its way onto the main apron. And that 777 about to land in. So as 777 lands in with us, the next is just starting to push back. We'll let this one arrive first though. Safely landed into East Midlands in the distance and making its way down towards us now, that 777 from Leipzig. And of view there as the 777 in front of us starts to push back. So from the 777 making its way off of that stand, see the 777 there rolling past us. There we go, all 3 777s there in view. And the 747 starting up as well. Golf Oscar November Echo Echo, just a few minutes behind schedule. Still, we should see the 747 out any time soon. Yeah, it's like a lot of people in the chat receiving some of that bad weather this evening. So let's travel a little further north from where we are at the minute. I think very fortunate just to miss the majority of that. If we have a look down to the south, not a very bad evening at all down there. Nice blue skies right above us at the minute. Although very quickly to be interrupted by some of that dark cloud, especially to southwest, just in front and above of the 777s there. So that 777 waiting on the taxiway. That's the inbound from Leipzig, the outbound to Leipzig continuing to push there. Frame them up a little better. So the image may be slightly distorted. We are streaming through a couple of panes of glass this evening, so apologies for any distortion. Moving a little further back, and the next eager to take its stand. Seven 747 making its way down towards us now. As it thunders away there into the distance. Let's try and see if we can maintain visual on this one. is then as it continues to depart from East Midlands, making its way through 1,800 feet. The first of hopefully 2 747s this evening. We'll keep track of that second 747. This one not doing too bad. Remaining on schedule. There it is. Continuing to head away from East Midlands this evening, making a series of very sharp banks there. Goes heading off into the bad weather. So the 777s both on their way in and out. Answer stand, and the outbound to Leipzig starting up. UPS 767 in from Philadelphia. That one isn't too far out now, about 15 minutes until we see that 767 arriving with us. There we go, the lights coming on over on the DHL apron. That 777 making its way out towards us. Majority of the bad weather then over towards the west now. Lovely staying in that direction as well. So quite some rain falling. The 777 making its way down towards us then. Not quite there just yet. So look a little bit further across and there it is. Well, they're dropping to about 13 degrees now then, that wind picking up as well. Layer on just for the time being. There it goes then, heading down towards runway 27, right past us this evening. 777 making its way back out to Leipzig. And that's 767 Derby now. Still just that one quickly making its way in towards East Midlands. Seven just about to pass by the main apron. Switch to that main view then. Delta Alpha Alpha of the 777 in front of us, making its way out to Leipzig this evening. Unfortunately for that Chewy there in the distance, quite a lengthy delay for the passengers hoping to make their way off to Heraklion this evening. Estimated departure time of that one 8 PM. 777 to Leipzig, making its way out now. That one was estimated at 6:45. That 777. Not too sure how quickly the 777 will climb this evening. Just up to Leipzig, probably pretty quickly. Be quite an early rotation. Lower camera there, and we'll try and catch it on the way out. On the camera to the right of the screen. But subject to that second 747 departing out this evening, try and end the stream around there. The 767 is departing out to Brussels. Estimated departure time for that one is about 8:15. So we'll see where we are. So a lot of those services outbound from East Midlands delayed this evening, unfortunately. The 767 originating from Philadelphia though, and making its way in towards East Midlands now, just passing south of Nottingham city centre, down through 6,400 feet, 224 knots. That one should be with us on the ground in about 6 minutes time. And about 777 reaching the end of runway 27. Let's see how quickly this one makes its way on, or if it is indeed going to hold. For the arriving 767. Looks like it's continuing. It's the 777 next to depart then. There it is, lined up on runway 27, waiting to receive takeoff clearance. Now let's just check that third camera is working as it should. That's down this time. There you go then, all three cameras in operation now, ready to catch the departure of that 777 as it makes its way from East Midlands this evening. There it goes, quite an early rotation as it makes its way out there. Climbing a little higher, let's move that camera a little further up and try and catch that one as it continues to climb away. There it is. And initiating that turn down towards the south. So nothing fancy on the tripods this evening, so I have to apologise for a bit of movement. I'll try and keep track of the 767 as best, sorry, the 777 as best we can. 767 as well, as that continues its descent in towards us. There it goes, departing just through the cloud there. And continuing down towards the south. There it goes, off into the off into the bad weather there. 777 out to Leipzig this evening from East Midlands. Camera doing its own work. There we go, that 777 is safely departing out then. Right, where's my glasses gone? Yep, straight off into the cloud. Let's get a view of the 777s and the weather then at the end of the cargo apron. Looking very dark out there. A lot of rain falling in that direction. I presume just a little further out. There you go. Try and give you a full picture of what is heading our way in the next short while. So the rain did interrupt operations here at East Midlands for a short while this afternoon. 747 departing out a little little earlier in the afternoon, waiting for about 20 minutes on the runway until the bad weather cleared, just making it out as a little pocket of good weather opened up just before a Jet 2 737 made its way in as well. The EPS 767 on final approach then, making its way down towards us now. Flight time from Philadelphia this evening, 5 hours and 57 minutes. This one passing down through 1,300 feet now at 119 knots. Registration on the arriving 767, November 355, Uniform Papa. Let's have a look for any further departures before that 747. It's like the average delay here at East Midlands is about 30 minutes. Allowed at A320 off to Larnaca, not visible on the main screen there. Hopefully somewhere over there on the main apron. That one is estimated to depart at about 20 past 8 now. That time just changing. The 747 off to Hong Kong, estimated to depart at 10 past 8. That was the earlier arriving aircraft in from Almaty. Arriving slightly behind schedule, about 17 minutes or so. Now with the 767 in from Philadelphia, just touching down with us here at East Midlands. That one should be rolling right past us in just, excuse me, a few seconds time. And then vacating. Or maybe rolling down a little further. It is indeed. Here it is then, the UPS 767 making its way past us now. Safely exiting runway 27 then, and making its way onto the taxiway. That one will make a left hand turn, making its way back down to the start of runway 27, where it'll find its stand for the evening. So that next bank of bad weather just about to hit the airfield, making its way in from the southwest. Some very dense cloud indeed. So it may slightly hinder operations here at the airfield this evening. Maybe some further delays, but that 767 is quickly making its way back down to the opposite end of the airfield. There it is, quickly whizzing by. And we'll try and take a look at operations over on the DHL apron this evening. So there you go, all the aircraft lined up. If we pan just a little further around, let's try the crew tripod. There we go. That bad weather heading straight for us this evening. A little bit darker in person than it is on screen. Still, a lot of rain heading our way. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's stream so far. A little bit different to the ordinary. We're usually outside on the mound, taking the brunt of most of the weather, with the rain impacting quite a lot of operations this afternoon. Thought it best to make our way inside and make use of the air traffic control unit here in the aeropark. Take a bit of shelter from the wind and rain. It has done quite a decent job this evening of keeping us warm and protected. Only the second time that we've streamed from inside of the mobile air traffic control unit. The camera's quickly set up not to skip streaming this evening. So the only downside of streaming outside is that you're exposed to all the elements. As soon as that rain arrives, very little time indeed to get everything packed away. So we're nice and safe in here this evening. Making use of all the cameras available to us, offering multiple views, so hopefully you've had a bit of a different view from the usual this evening. So nothing too close up. We're a little bit restricted on movement. It's nice just to sit down and control things in a different way this evening, having some different static camera views rather than grappling with all the equipment, contending with the weather as well. But there we go, the view right in front of us out of the air traffic control unit this evening. Just joining us, the wing of the Nimrod there in view. And that's 767 arriving onto its stand. Blue Islands ATR making its way in from Bristol this evening. That one is just reaching a runway 27 at Bristol. Golf India Sierra Lima November, the registration of the inbound ATR from Bristol. That one should be with us in about 25 minutes time, there or thereabouts, depending on the weather this evening. Looks like there's a lot of weather up in Manchester still this evening. Early departing A321, diverting into East Midlands before safely making its way back out to Manchester. So that one was on the ground just for a short while, allowing that weather to clear a little further north, but quite some delays to the inbounds and outbounds from Manchester this evening. So very heavily impacted by the weather, unfortunately. Not too dissimilar to East Midlands. Quite a weather front making its way towards us now, so we will keep an eye on those departures. They may be delayed ever so slightly this evening. Let's have a look at the 747 off to Hong Kong. Still picking up with an estimated departure time of 8:10. So in the next 30 minutes that one should be departing. And then the Lauda A320 off to Larnaca this evening from East Midlands. Not seen this one on the Larnaca service before. That one originally estimated to depart East Midlands at 6 PM. Estimated departure time is now 8:20. So I'll try and stick around for the 747 as long as that doesn't change schedule. We'll try and catch that one out. If not, the 767 off to Brussels is estimated to depart at about 8:15 this evening. So we'll either end with the departure of the 747 or the 767 this evening. ATR departing Bristol is now making its way towards us. 4,200 feet it is climbing through now. And good to see everybody in the chat this evening. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. And yeah, Richard, that Vulcan Air making quite a trip this evening. About an hour's trip down to Clacton on Sea, making its way down towards Southend now. Probably one of the furthest journeys we've seen it on from here at East Midlands, but the UK National Police Service providing air operational support to the majority of police forces now. Yeah, quite a trip for that one this evening. So let's try if we can bring it onto that main view for the time being. I'll try and adjust the camera to have a look a little bit closer at the DHL operations. Now you'll have to forgive the quality of the secondary camera we've got this evening. Not quite built for a low light streaming, but we'll try our very best. Right, let's have a look, see which aircraft we can pick up. The 777 in the distance, arriving in from Leipzig. Looks like that one is continuing to unload, as well as the 777 right in front of us. This one in the one against cancel livery. So let's try and get a close-up view of that. There we go. Not the sharpest of images. Still, we are streaming this evening through a couple of panes of glass, so I have to apologise for some of the loss in quality. There you go, a little further out then on the 777 there. There we go, bring that one in view, get all three cameras back on board. There we go, very much a view that we have for the time being this evening. Bad weather continuing to make its way towards us now. It should become visible on the lower camera in the next 5 minutes or so. It's moving very gradually towards us. See if we can pick up any information on that 747. Those delays at East Midlands raising to about 40 minutes now. I think the microphones are eventually going to drop out, so I'll very quickly change them over just before they do. Get them all paired up. Somehow pair it anyway. Right, hopefully that's worked. I'm sure we'll find out very soon. So apologies for any imminent sound loss. I'm just about to change the microphone over, so bear with us. Right. Hopefully that's back on board. Yeah, sounds like it. Turn that up just a little bit. Right, so it should be back on board now. Right, get these other microphones put away. Get them charged up for the next stream. Camera having a bit of a difficulty there focusing. Let's change that main image and sort that out. Those safely away. Let's sort out that image then on this other camera. There you go. Try our best with it, but I think the lower light may be impacting it ever so slightly. There you go. Probably good a view as we're going to get from it anyway for the time being. And as the 777 continuing to be worked on this evening. Still with an estimated departure time of 8:10 for the One Air 747. Nothing changed on that schedule just yet, and about 8:15 for the 767 making its way out to Brussels. Let's have a look for the arrivals. The Blue Islands ATR quickly making its way up towards us. Another 30 minutes or so, it's saying, before that aircraft arrives in with us. 17,000 feet is its current altitude. So depending on where we are in terms of seeing the 747 depart out, I may have to forego watching the ATR arrive in. Still, it's been good to have you with us this evening. Thank you very much indeed for sticking around, putting all the equipment through a bit of a stress test this evening. Testing out how streaming goes from inside of the mobile air traffic control unit, as well as we get into those colder months. Very beneficial indeed to stay warm. A bit of darkness passing over the DHL apron now then, as that bad weather starts to move across. So no view of the 747 unfortunately this evening, but if we want to go back and have a look at the One Air 747 departing out to Hangzhou, have a look back through the stream. That one departing out about 40 minutes ago now, just after 7:15. Second 747 we've seen on this evening's stream. The next we are waiting to depart out. That one arrived in from Almaty about just after 5 PM this evening. Golf Oscar November Echo Foxtrot is the registration on that departing 747. And there we go, that rain starting to very heavily come down now. There we go, rolling down the windows in front of us. See those aircraft in the distance taking the brunt of that weather. Right, I shall make sure that nothing is going to get damaged anytime soon. Going down quite heavily indeed there. Right, back onto that main image then. Going quite quickly through all the gaps there around the door. Just covering everything up before it has a chance to get wet. There we go, quite a different view in front of us now. Turning very dark indeed. To get everything dried down, I think, before we make a move a little later. Very wet indeed out there now. Very sad end to the day. There you go. Try and get a little bit more focus on the camera there. Looking very miserable indeed. Very bad image there on that second camera. I think a bit of a rubbish view as well. So let's have one final check then on the aircraft around us. Quite a band of weather. It's going to make its way over us again in the next few minutes. think with a limited view because of the rain this evening, it's not going to give us any decent images at all. Yeah, turning very dark as well. So I think we shall probably end it there this evening. So it's not looking very pleasant at all out there. I don't think we're going to see very much more from being inside this evening either. So we shall have one last look then. The view in front of us there, the main apron of East Midlands Airport, and then the view right out of the control tower where we're sitting this evening. So a few things out before we move on. Yeah, I think with the weather as it is, it's only going to get worse over the next hour or so. It's probably best to call it a done deal. Take our chances and get out while we can before it gets any worse. So thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening again from East Midlands Airport. I hope you've enjoyed the live stream from where we are within the control tower. So a bit of a different view, not something that we thought we'd be doing tonight, but with the weather as it is, been a valuable resource. Thank you very much indeed for being with us once again from East Midlands. This has been Live Flight Action. I've been Tom. If it's your first time joining us, do consider subscribing to the channel. We're out here at East Midlands at least twice a week, joining us on our regular streaming days, Thursday and Tuesday evenings. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit better over the next few days, although the weather forecast is looking a bit ominous. But for the time being, that's going to be us, I think, until we get a bit more light, until that bad weather clears. So thank you very much for being with us again this evening. Thank you to all of our subscribers and our members. Thank you very much to Alan as well for that super chat a little earlier in the stream. It's been good to have you all with us. Thank you very much indeed for watching once again, live from East Midlands Airport from the grounds of the Aeropark. And don't forget, if you want to visit the Aeropark this weekend, they're open Saturday and Sunday from 11 until 5 PM. Have a look at the link description and the link in the stream description below. I'll take you to the website and give you all the information that you need, how to find them, their admission times, prices, and the aircraft on static display as well. But from a very rainy East Midlands, have a good evening and the rest of the weekend. We'll see you on the next one.